Hey guys, so guess what? I saw the Odyssey last night. No, not the Odyssey 2026. I saw the Odyssey 1997. Yeah, so for realsies, I was like, last week I was totally tempted to go to the movies and see the Odyssey, but if you saw my last video about the controversies of the Odyssey and I explained why I did not want to see the Christopher Nolan version of the Odyssey, I said to myself, you know what? The one great thing that came out of Christopher Nolan's Odyssey is that it made me aware of the existence of the 1997 Odyssey with Armand Asante, Isabella Rossellini, and Vanessa Williams, and so many great cameos, so many great actors. Eric Roberts, go down the list, man. Like all these people in here, I'm like, holy shit! How come nobody talks about this movie? Okay, so for instance, before I get into the movie, I have the Odyssey book by Homer. Now, this book that I have is specifically it's a 1944 book, published in 1944 by Walter J. Black Inc. So this is the entire book. Book 1, the gods agree that Odysseus must return home. Book 2, Telemachus calls an assembly. Book 3, like it goes down the entire. That's the table of contents. It's the whole story of Odysseus, all in this one little 1944 book. How old is that now? That's like 83 years old, 84, almost just about, yeah, man, it's 82, 83 years old. Just a little younger than my grandfather. Holy shit. And I could feel the spine feels a little weak on this baby. But, I take good care of my books. So this will be fine. And, frankly, I am tempted to actually read it. But from what I've gathered, this movie, Odyssey, pretty much captured the essence of the book, like, pretty accurately from what I was reading over the internet. But for me personally, I could not believe how good this was and made me love Armand Asante even more. Now, if you're not familiar with Armand Asante, which, why aren't you? Oh, hold on, it's just a thumbnail I was working on. Armand Asante. You really should check him out. He's a really good actor. I don't hear enough people talk about him for some reason. I don't know why. Like even his small roles, like what's so amazing about Armand Asante, like here's just an example. If you ever watch 1492 Columbus movie, Armand Asante is like his face is on the cover. Like if you get like the DVD like this one here, right? There's Armand Asante on the cover, but he's not even the main character. The main character is this French actor. I forgot his name. Gerard Depardieu, right? And Sigourney Weaver, she plays the Queen of Spain. Armand Asante plays the jealous nobleman who hates Columbus and is always trying to ruin him. So why I'm bringing this up is because I'm just trying to say that Armand Asante, like, even in the smallest roles where he's a side character, like in 1492, it's some of the most memorable acting. Like, he's just such a great actor. Even the smallest roles, he makes them big. Like, Armand is the kind of guy who's like, okay, this is my role. You will remember this role. You know what I mean? Like, and you remember this role. He's just amazing. So not enough people talk about my boy, Armand Asante. And maybe they do, and I'm just not aware of you guys. If you're here, let me know. But anyway, back to what I love about this movie, because I've seen Armand in so many things. Like, maybe the biggest main movie I've seen him in, like, when he was young, was, like, Gotti, where he played John Gotti. But I like mafia stuff, but it's not my main, like, favorite stuff. So when I found out that he played like in an adventure movie based on like an ancient poem and he's Odysseus, this is the only reason why I'm going to thank Christopher Nolan for even making the Odyssey, because now I know I watched this movie. This movie was great. So basically, it goes through the whole story, right? He's the king of Ithaca. He has to go to Troy, sack Troy, defeat Troy with his army of Greeks, and he has to leave his wife and his son that was just born. Uh, and that's his mother. That's the mother there. Let me just get a shot here if I can. There's the wife. This is the wife that the loyal wife who does everything in her power throughout the entire 2 parts of the miniseries to wait for Odysseus to come back home. And the love between Armand Assante and Isabella Rossellini, I know, is Athena. She plays the goddess Athena. So I'm guessing that the wife is Vanessa Williams, who I've never seen before until this movie. The set pieces and the overall cinematography of this is beautiful. And what's really sad about it, though, if you look this up, the Odyssey 1997 Blu-ray, I wasn't able to find a Blu-ray of this. Is there a Blu-ray of this? No, right? They just have DVD, Amazon Prime, and iTunes, and obviously now you could watch it on YouTube for free, which I did. But I had, it's a low bit rate, it's okay definition, but unfortunately, I think they have the DVDs on eBay probably. But when I tried to get it on Amazon, Amazon was totally sold out of the Odyssey DVDs. But it looks like not because of like any recent sellouts. Like it looks like nobody has been selling it, and they haven't been making like any reprints of it. 1997 DVD. Like, let's see if there's any copies on eBay here. All right, so they got some copies on eBay, but I wasn't willing to wait to watch it. All right, so that's good to know. But look, there's no Blu-ray version of this masterpiece, which is really sad, because if you watch this, you will see the amount of love that was put into it. I mean, they put in a lot into the set pieces, the costume designs, just the overall atmosphere of everything. Oh, and here's Isabella Rossellini as Athena. She looks fantastic as Athena. But yeah, there's them sailing to Troy. Here's them like having, oh, there was some crazy like battle scenes where they're fighting him and Achilles shows up. Achilles is not in it for long. Like, it's not like that movie with Brad Pitt, I think, right? Brad Pitt, didn't he play Achilles in that movie? And that didn't even have like any mythical monsters in it. But yeah, like the really cool battle scenes here. Achilles was like threatening Hector. I want to find that scene though. It was a really cool scene where he's like screaming at Hector. Where are you? That's Achilles. He looks like fucking Tarzan. Let me. Oop, wrong button. That's just a child who's like in the middle of the battle, and Odysseus like saves him from the battle. Like, what the hell? Why is there just a random kid in the middle of a battle? But they're showing you that Odysseus, like, he's a good soul. Really crazy action scenes, right? You see that? Like, holy shit, bro. That looked really good for the time. And for an NBC miniseries, man, I think it's impressive. But where the hell is it? Well, anyway, Achilles defeats Hector. Oh, hold on. Just trying to get it. He defeats Hector, and he's seen here, like, dragging Hector's body across the land, bragging about it. And eventually Achilles gets killed, and then it leads up to the Trojan horse scene. They build a Trojan horse, and Armand, Odysseus, and his group of men are hiding behind it, and they leave one of their men out to convince the king of Troy to bring the horse inside of the city. And it's almost about, like, they're convincing the king, right? Here they are inside of the horse, right? And they're hoping that the king takes it into the city. And here's, this guy is, like, I forgot his name in the book, in the character's name, but he's lying about the horse, and the king's soothsayer comes out. He's like, do not take this horse. Beware of gifts from Greeks. And like he's like just about to ruin the whole plan for the Trojan horse. And then like this fucking like sea serpent you don't see what it really looks like. You just see like this tentacle thing come up from the sea, and it like sucks up the soothsayer here. Yeah, there's the monster, right? It sucks up the soothsayer and eats him into the ocean. And this saves Odysseus, because then the man who is begging the king, he's you see, Poseidon has killed your soothsayer, so you have to take the horse in. So they take the horse in. Everybody in Troy is like having orgies and getting drunk and having a grand old time. And that's when like they come in and they sack Troy and they kill everybody. So there's this amazing scene here with Armand Assante. I mean, really cool, great like scene where these violent waves up against this like these mountainous, nasty looking mountains, right? And Armand is like bragging. He's saying like, "Do you not see, gods? I am mortal, made of flesh and bone, and here I have conquered Troy." You know, like he's like really like showing like, "I have a big dick. Fuck you," you know? And Poseidon gets really pissed off here. Like he starts talking to Armand, Odysseus, and Poseidon is like, you know, really pissed off at Armand for like being so arrogant. And then he puts a curse on Odysseus. He says, "You will never be able to return to Ithaca." And the thing about the curse is, the curse only affects Odysseus. So by going on the boat with his men technically can return home. But with Odysseus on the boat and cursed, his men won't be able to return home. So, but his men are like extremely loyal and everything, so they stay with him throughout the whole affair. And you know, you also see the struggles of the wife, who's extremely loyal, and the mother who's trying to tell her to be tough. And the wife is like, "You have a heart of stone. You know, how could you say that I need to move on eventually, and I'm going to have to make another man the king of Ithaca over my husband?" And you know, she's trying to toughen her up, but the mother actually isn't as tough as she puts on. She just wants the wife to be strong. You know, there's some really good acting here, unbelievable acting, and the wife is like in the sea, and she's like depressed and crying about not seeing Odysseus. Really amazing acting here that I really don't think you would see in Christopher Nolan's movie. And of course an NBC miniseries will not have the technical godlike, you know, cinematography that the new movie probably has. But it has something that the movie doesn't have. It has heart. It has soul. It has music that is ethereal, and it hits the strings right at the right moments. It really does. It has a really nice ethereal soundtrack to it. Now, this is the scene where they fall, where Odysseus is in the fog in the ocean, and they end up on the island where the Cyclops is. There's like big things of cheese inside of the cave. They don't know whose it is. And then the Cyclops comes with this herd of goats and sheep. And literally, dude, like it's of course not like the best looking Cyclops monster in cinema history, obviously, but it's pretty damn good. And there's a part where he literally eats one of Odysseus's men, and he eats him in half. And when you see like his corpse, like half of it, it's actually pretty fucking disgusting and horrifying. For a 1997 movie with a low budget and like an NBC miniseries, like it was actually really well done. And Odysseus, he uses his brain to trick the Cyclops, and he tells him, "Well, you can't eat me. I have magic in my brain, and the gods have given me all this magic, and you will lose all the knowledge of the world if you eat me." And he's like kind of buttering up the Cyclops, and then he eventually like convinces the Cyclops to drink a big bowl of wine. And the Cyclops are, "What is your name? What is your name?" And he's like, "Oh, I am nobody, sir. I'm nobody." Because the Cyclops is the son of Poseidon, one of the many sons of Poseidon, so he doesn't tell him that I'm Odysseus. Because then he'd be like, "Oh, you are Odysseus, my father has cursed you." You know, like he can't let him know who he is. So they're like soothing the Cyclops, you know, like, "Dude, look at my man Armand Assante. This is my man, dude. This guy has got it, bro." Like, you telling me in the new movie with the Christopher Nolan movie, you telling me that Matt Damon is Odysseus? Are you kidding me? This guy's got the charisma. You tell me Matt Damon's got Armand Desante charisma? Fuck you. No, dude, this guy's got it, man, because throughout the entire series here, Armand Desante is a romantic. I mean, he mushes up these women like nobody's business. He bangs the goddesses like nobody's business, and he's laughing. He's fun, but when he's serious, he's serious. You know what I mean? This is a hero, man. This is like literally Odysseus, probably out of the book, okay? Not Matt Damon. You know, I saw a scene where Matt Damon was like coming on the boat. They were talking about how in the new movie they don't even use like older language. They're using like modern day language. So like there'll be scenes where Matt Damon is talking like I do on my videos, like he'll be like, get on the fucking boat. It's like that's totally immersion breaking. I think, you know, like they don't do any of that in this. They somehow retain that feel of old language, but not, and it just works in this movie. So yeah, they fool the Cyclops. They get him drunk, and then while he's sleeping, they like cut up a spear and they jab it in his eye so they could get him to open the stone door so they could escape the cave. And they're all trying to escape him a little bit at a time, and the only guy who doesn't escape the Cyclops is the musician who plays a flute. And the Cyclops, he eats the musician with the flute. Pretty horrifying, actually. Like, could you imagine getting eaten by this thing? Oh my god, bro! Like the weird part about this Cyclops design, because even though you could see like the bad practical effects of the '90s, it's good at the same time. Yeah, this is the flute player who gets eaten. Everyone gets out but him. He gets eaten. But there's actually something creepier about the older practical effects in movies because of how fake it looks. It looks like very very creepy, like a creepy wax thing. So yeah, man, they escape the island with like scared out of their mind, and they end up on another place. And Odysseus meets the god of wind, and the god of wind happens to be the cousin of Poseidon. Now I don't know who the actor is who plays the god of wind, but I swear to God I've seen this old actor. I don't know his name though. I've seen this guy. He's really funny. He's like kind of a funny I guess who is the god of winds? I'm the god of winds, Odysseus, and my cousin is Poseidon. And he's like basically saying like Poseidon is a dick. He thinks he's like knows everything. I don't like my cousin very much, so I'll help you get back to your home in Ithaca. So what does the god of wind do? The god of wind sucks up all the winds from like a certain direction of the hemisphere. He sucks up all the winds into a bag here. Let me get the shot if I can get it. Yeah, here it is. He's like, this is actually a really cool scene. And I tell you this is like in low bit rate, 480p on YouTube, and it's not like the best copy of the movie. Shout Factory needs to find the original film of this and remake it into Blu-ray or something, like they did for Aguirre and a lot of Werner Herzog's classics. This miniseries needs to be remade into a better format, because even if you would see like the bad CG of the time, I think this would be a beautiful art piece. And just for historical archiving sake, this needs a better version out there on Blu-ray. I would buy this on Blu-ray, no hesitation. And I'm sure a lot of other, like Shout Factory or whoever owns the rights to this NBC miniseries, this is the time to reproduce this into Blu-ray with the Odyssey, Christopher Nolan, out in theaters right now with the hype and everything, because you will have people in there, not everybody, but people who will be like, oh wow, I wonder if there are any other versions of the Odyssey out there, and I'd be curious to see it. Like, this is a great time to capitalize on that and give us a beautiful version of this masterpiece. So yeah, dude, the god of wind puts all the winds inside of this bag, and he gives it to Odysseus, and he tells him, don't open this bag, just go home, the winds will carry you home, and everything will be nice and easy, right? So they're going to boat, everything seems good, but the men are like, what is in that bag? What is inside that bag? I bet it's gold. And you know, some of them are like, well, I don't care what's in it as long as I get my share at the end of the journey. But one of the guys insists to open it. And they're literally just about home. They're just about home to Ithaca. And this asshole, and actually most of the crew teams up with him, except for one of the real loyal guys who love, like, for Odysseus. They all open the bag, and when they open the bag, dude, it like blows up, and the guy who opened it literally flies up. Oh, let me see if I can get it. Let me see if I get it. I just want you to see the image at least. I think it happened here already. Oh, here he is trying to open it, right? Trying to open it. Hold on. Hold on. And like even the crew in this movie, like the smaller cast characters, you know, like everybody did a really good job here. That's when it opens. Why can't I get the scene? $52.24, $52.44. All right, well it doesn't matter. Well, anyway, they all fly up into the sky. Nobody dies from it though, but like it's like a huge reaction, and it ends up like flying the boat all the way at the other side of the world, and they don't get to Ithaca, and they end up on the island where they end up meeting the witch. They didn't even call her Cersei in this, but it's Cersei. This is the witch that turns you into an animal. Like they turn him into a piggy, right? They're chasing him because they want to eat him, but they don't even know he's a man. And eventually, one of the guys come down and say, "Don't eat him! Don't eat him! Don't kill him! That's Pilati, or I think that's his name, Pilates or Pilani. I forgot the guy's name." And he's telling him about like there's a great witch, and she turned Antinous and everybody into animals. They're all animals, right? And Odysseus is like, "I will go see this, and if I do not return, you know, whatever." And he goes like climbing, journeying, and he sees like a bear that's one of the guys, and like it's a real bear. I could tell it's a real bear in the movie, and the bear is like they got the bear trained to like point, telling Odysseus go up the mountain, Odysseus. It was really funny how they used a real bear for that, like and. The bear was like watching him as he's climbing up the mountain. He sees a monkey inside as he's climbing, and he's like, "Antinous, is that you?" And Antinous, as the monkey, is like, "Keep going up," you know. Really awesome shit. And he keeps climbing Armandasanti, and then he's greeted by the messenger Hermes. Hermes comes in. He flies in here in his godlike look. You know, wait, let me get a better shot of him. Right, there he is. There's Hermes, the messenger. Hermes basically tells Odysseus here, like, "I want you to eat this poison leaf." And Odysseus is like, "Why would I do that?" He says, "Well, you'll be eating it from a god, and do you not trust me?" And then he tells him, you know, if you eat that, and when you go to see the witch, and you drink the potion that's supposed to turn you into an animal, then you don't turn into an animal, you'll catch her by surprise, then you put your knife to her neck, and then she'll surrender your men to you as long as you have sex with her. That's the condition. And he says, "You do not deny a goddess." And like, dude, no, you do not deny a goddess, especially a goddess like this. Holy shit, bro. Like, dude, like the goddesses that they pick in this were like crazy good. But yeah, like he sees like in there that there's like lions, panthers that his men turned into. It was really cool. I'm really impressed for a 1997 movie. I think it was really well done, creative, and it's got, you know, like there's something about some of the 90s movies that go really weird and ham with this stuff, and it feels more magical than like the newer movies you would watch today. I don't know. Yeah, this is Cersei the Witch. She's really hot. But what happens is he gives in to her, and she's, "Okay, I'll surrender your men. Have sex with me." It's like, yeah, that's so hard to say no to. So then after he bangs Cersei, she says, "Bring all your men here for them to rest and to, you know, before you go back to your journey." So they think, right? They think that they're... Oh, and before I get into that, there's this really intense scene where the mother is so sick of waiting for Odysseus, she gives up a little bit, and she gives up. Like, she's about to kill herself and drown herself in the ocean, and Odysseus' wife, Penelope, is, like, begging her, and it's, like, some really good acting here, man. Like, it was really good. And it's like, you know, you ever see that movie A Star is Born? And no, not the overrated Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga movie. Although I'm not talking shit, my grandpa loves that movie. But like, I mean the original Star is Born with James, what's his name, the English actor. It's like that. Like she literally just walks into the ocean and drowns herself. And like Penelope is like Oh, it was some really good acting here. Like, she couldn't believe what the mother did. So yeah, anyway, while all that's going on, Odysseus is having a great fucking time, fucking his brains out for 5 days, right? Or so we think. It turns out that it hasn't been 5 days. Inside the witch's palace, time works differently. 5 days to you, 1 hour to you, really turns out to be 5 years of fucking your brains out. Dude, that sounds like a great place. I'd love to be there. Hit me up. But, like, she's like, you don't believe me, Odysseus? Go out and find your boat. It's probably buried by the tide. So he goes out, and yep, what do you know? His boat was buried. So he wakes up his complicit men who have been enjoying their life too much at the Circe's palace. They unbury the boat, and they head back out. And, well, importantly, too, he tells the witch, he says, you have to tell me how to get back to Ithaca. And she tells him, the only way is to talk to the prophet Tyrannicus. He says, that's impossible. I think I'm saying his name wrong. Tyrannicus? Tyrannicus is dead. She says, well, you have to go to Hades to speak to him. That's impossible. How do I go to Hades? And also, while all that is going on, Eric Roberts here is like the leader, basically, of this band of men that have basically taken over Odysseus's home, where his wife Penelope is. Because basically, it's the deal and the custom is that once her son gets a beard, basically becomes a man, she has to forget about Odysseus and crown a new king of Ithaca and a new husband. So all these like douchebags are like at her house, and like they're like eating up all the food, taking over the place, having parties and stuff, being, you know, fucking assholes, doing whatever they want. Out of all of them though, Eric Roberts is like the sly, the sleuth, you know, like he's the cool asshole, and he's really cool in this too. I'm guessing Robert Pattinson is that in the new movie. I'm guessing Robert Pattinson plays the Eric Roberts role. But Eric Roberts, man, like, it's kind of hard to top Eric Roberts. And no shit on Pattinson. Robert Pattinson is a great actor, you know what I mean? But Eric was very commanding in this scene here. Like, in these scenes, as, like, basically the leader of the ragtag douchebags who want to take over Odysseus's home and riches. And the son hates them and everything, and all of that. So part one basically ends with them going into these really cool, like, King Kong Island, and they enter a cave, and it brings them into Hades, you know, and he has to get a ram, and he has to walk into it. And there's this really beautiful scene here where he's talking to the men, and he makes this really beautiful speech to them, you know, about how he loves them and how loyal they are and how they're his warriors. And you could see the love in his men for them and how they really look up to Odysseus. And I can't get the shot here, but there's a shot where they're all hugging Odysseus before he steps off of the boat. So, like, I don't see Matt Damon being treated that way by his men. Matt Damon is like, dude, Armand Assante, if you said, okay, man, you have to, like, go through the Odyssey. You're going to die because all the men end up dead, right? But you're going to go through all this stuff. So while all that's happening, who do you want to follow into all this hell? A, Armando Assante, or B, Matt Damon? Oh, let me think about that. Armand, right? I'd rather follow Armand because at least with Armando Assante, I'll have some laughs in there, you know, I'll have some feel-good moments. With Matt Damon, it's like, Matt Damon. Yeah. Fuck. Boring. You know, or at least Armand, I can learn a few things from him. So yeah, it ends with these really awesome scene where he goes into Hades, right? And you see like all these golden ghosts and everything. And he sees the flute player that got eaten by the Cyclops. And he says to him, you must help me find Tyrannicus. And then he points him into the direction. So then that brings us to part 2 of the Odyssey. So it continues. He's carrying this ram in Hades all through these long hallways. And he finally meets the spot where he has to go find. He goes down, he finds the prophet. The prophet is like sitting in this place with like this molten gold or something. And Odysseus throws the ram inside of it. And then Tyrannicus basically tells him like how to basically, how to get back home. And while he's in Hades, the land of the dead, he meets his mother who tells him that she killed herself. And it's a really, really cool scene. Armand has some great moments in here too. So he comes out, he makes it, he meets his men. And this is where shit gets even crazier somehow. And this is just like more of the douchebags that are trying to like win over Penelope. Like this fat guy comes in. He like owns sheep and goats, and like he's like a landowner, and he's like saying like, "Oh, I brought you a circus, my dear Penelope. Let me," he wants a piece of the pie. He wants to be king. Like all these guys are trying to convince her. That's the son. Hold on. Oh, Eric Roberts, the leader of the band of assholes. He's basically like fucking the maid that's like right with the with Penelope, and he's using the maid as kind of like a way to like eavesdrop and figure out how to get his way through things. Sorry for the pause. I just need a minute here. Oh, right. Right. Oh, this part is crazy, dude. This is like some King Kong shit, this miniseries, and I love it. I absolutely love the campiness. I absolutely love like the King Kong feel about it. So through their journey, they have to go through this cave, and it has a monster in it that's like super hungry. I forgot what it was called. It's like this weird tentacle monster, and it fucking comes down with these like big fucking teeth, and it chomps on them. You know what I mean? Like, it'll get one guy, like, from the top, like, jump, and pulls him up into the cave, cut one guy in half, like, chomps him up like crazy. Like, it was actually really good stuff here, the way they did it. And, like they're, like, fucking scared. They don't know how to deal with it. There's a part where they put, like, a goat or a ram out to get eaten, and the fucking thing gets the ram in half. I felt so sorry for the poor thing. But, like, they had to do it just to see where this monster was. Like, there it is. Like, I can't... It's not even a good shot, right? Like, it's like this creepy... here's a good picture. Wait. You know what I hate about YouTube? You see the picture. You wanna fast forward on it, and it brings you to something else, man. It's really annoying. It's like... You know what I picture it as? You guys ever see, like, Dungeons and Dragons? Like that... that monster with the one eye, and it's got, like, the tentacles? It looks something like that. But it's like eating most of the men, right? It's eating most of the men, and like there's this one guy with a sword, like, come on, try me, and he fucking gets the guy, and it ends up killing them all, but not in the cave. Like right when they're getting out of the cave, right? It's the boat is coming out of the cave where the light is, but it's a waterfall, so the boat is falling, but it's so long because when it falls, it hits the top of the ceiling of the cave, and it gets stuck, and all the men are like falling off the boat. And this part was like really crazy, because here's the crazy part: if this was better definition and they put out a better format, but when I first saw this scene, I'm like, wait a minute, is that like, what is that in the ocean? I couldn't tell if it was like a reef or rocks. It's the mouth of the monster, dude. Like, it's the main monster. It's like that fucking monster in the desert in Star Wars Episode 6. The one where, like, Boba Fett gets eaten. He falls into the desert ground, and this, like, big monster eats him up. Like, it's like that, dude, but in the ocean. And it's obviously moves around, though, in the ocean. Because it was, like, just waiting for them. Like, so as they're coming out of the waterfall, this fucking monstrous, horrifying thing was just waiting to just swallow all of them up, dude. It was crazy. Like, it was actually really well done. So, like, they're all hanging on for dear life. Each guy, like, one by one is falling off into it. It's like a scene from King Kong, dude. It's like King Kong. It's amazing. I love this shit. All the guys that you think wouldn't die, they all fall into it. Like, they get eaten by it. Like, dude, it was so good. I was, like, feeling so sorry for them. Like, their loyalty to Odysseus, like, their love for Odysseus led to their death. They all died. Like, not a single man left. Like, even like all of them died, dude. It was, oh my god, dude, unbelievable. Then the monster, after it swallowed everybody except for Odysseus, it like sank into the ocean and disappeared, leaving Odysseus alone in the ocean. It was like, wow, dude, like, it's so good the way they did this. I just don't see the same heart. I could be wrong, but I don't. I've done this before. I've been wrong about movies before. Maybe the Christopher Nolan movie is an amazing, one of the best movies ever made. I don't know. I didn't see it yet. So I'm not, rushing to judgment. I just don't want to go to the movies for almost 3-hour movie and waste my gas and back. And I'm just going to wait to stream it. Then I'll have a full opinion about it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, that's just how I feel about it lately. I don't feel like driving all the way to see it. But yeah, anyway, so Odysseus ends up with Calypso. He ends up, he gets the shore, the water brings him to Calypso, this beautiful goddess. Let me get a good shot of her if I can. Right? Really beautiful goddess Calypso, who's immortal. She's a goddess and she has like all these girl maids. It's like Themyscira, except like not, because they're not like Amazons. They're just like serving Calypso, entertaining her, and she basically ends up marrying Odysseus and keeping him captive from his destiny. And it only stops eventually when Hermes, the messenger god, and this is just the son. He's trying to have an assembly with the people of Ithaca, begging them to help get rid of all the asshole men from trying to take his mother Penelope and become king. He fails. He doesn't succeed in convincing the people of Ithaca to help him get rid of him, because they're convinced that, well, the father's dead and that's the men's right to do that. So he wasn't able to convince them. So he ends up going on boat to try to find Odysseus, which he never does. And like Eric Roberts is like, no, let him go and think he could find his father. And when he comes back, we'll own everything already, and we'll put the spear behind his back. You know, like he's all like arrogant about it and everything. So, oh yeah, Calypso is fucking gorgeous, bro. Dude, like they have Charlize Theron who plays Calypso in the newer movie, but I gotta tell you, I don't know who this woman is. I feel like I've seen this actress before, but she's leagues ahead of Charlize Theron, dude. Like, that's a goddess. Like, goddamn, dude. I wouldn't mind being trapped on an island with this one. Charlize Theron is fine, don't get me wrong. But damn, dude, this one is like, wow. Wow. Alright, so yeah, there's Athena again. Athena was talking to Odysseus' son. She was actually in disguise as this old man named Mento, or whatever his name is. She basically tells him, go to Sparta. Go to Sparta. Here's Hermes talking to Calypso. He basically, Hermes just looks like an overgrown man in a golden diaper. So he's telling Calypso, like, you have to let go of Odysseus. And she's like, no, I love Odysseus. You gods are just jealous that I have a mortal man and I'm married to a mortal man instead of one of you. And Hermes is like, no, this is from the mouth of Zeus. If you do not allow Odysseus to make the choice for himself to go to his destiny and return to Ithaca, we will have Poseidon drown your island to be forgotten by time. So, like, she's basically forced her hand to do that. And, she's, like, struggling about it. And Armand is like, you spoke to Hermes, didn't you? And she's like, yes. So he convinces her to, like, where can I build a boat? There's some dead wood, but an island. He builds, like, a very makeshift boat to get off of the island. So what the wife is doing here to delay the men from marrying her, to keep them at bay, she says, I will choose a man to marry after I finish threading this fabric, which, like, takes forever. That's the point. And she keeps fucking up the fabric on purpose to keep delaying it. And nobody knows she's doing it yet. Until Eric Roberts is, like, seducing her maid. And he's, like, fucking her good. Like, literally, dude. It's like some crazy sex scenes. Well, not crazy sex scenes, but he finds out that Penelope has been intentionally delaying the fabric, the threading, and he goes to try to talk to Penelope and just convince her himself to marry him, that Odysseus, he's dead. Take me. You haven't felt the touch of a man for 20 years, 18 years. And even then that doesn't, and he's like, and I know what you're doing with the fabric. The others will find out eventually. And she still doesn't give in. And he's like, well, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to do this. So he exposes it to all the assholes that she's been doing that with the fabric. And hold on, let me get back to that after. That's just Calypso and Armand saying their goodbyes. And Armand is heading out. And this is just when the son is talking to one of the king of Sparta who fought with Odysseus, and he has such respect for Odysseus. The actor does such a good job showing like he's genuinely like sincere, giving this advice to his son, to Odysseus's son, that you need to go back and you need to fight for what's yours. You know, and the way he talked to the son was really good. The son needed to hear it. So yeah, anyway, then the scene here when Odysseus is coming back home. He's like almost home, right? Poseidon is fucking with him, with the waves and the ocean. And Armand Desante is like, what do you want from me? What do you want from me, Poseidon? And Poseidon's like, I want you to suffer. And he's like, what more is there to suffer? I have nothing left. All my men are gone. Everything is gone. All that is left is my life for you to take. And then Poseidon is like, I do not want to kill you. And he says, well, what do you want? Poseidon says to him, I want you to know that without gods, men are nothing. And then, like, Odysseus was, like, basically like, oh, that's it? No, I'm kidding. And then Poseidon finally lets him get back to Ithaca. He gets, he doesn't land at Ithaca, actually. He ends up in the land of the fishermen and the tradesmen. And the king of that place, like, brings him in, and he's like, I know who you are. You are Odysseus. You are the one we all know about, you know, like, and he says, I will give you a ship and men to bring you back to Ithaca. And that's how he gets back to Ithaca. But he doesn't reveal himself right away in Ithaca. He sees one of his old servants who helped raise his son, the goat herder. He makes the goat cheese and everything, who is an actor that I've also seen before, but I don't remember his name. And he meets his son finally for the first time. And it's just beautiful. He says, I am your father. And it was just so beautiful. These hands are the ones that held you and gave you back to your mother before I left to go fight Troy. You know, like, it was just, I'm doing no justice in Armand's execution here. You have to watch it yourself, if you're curious. So what happens is Athena visits Odysseus after all this time again. We get a picture of her. And she says, this is why I've chosen you, Odysseus. Any other man would be impatient, and he'd just rush into the house to see his wife and son, only to get ambushed and murdered by all those asshole men inside of the mansion. But you, Odysseus, you have patience, guile, strategy. You know to wait for the right moment. And she gives him a disguise, a magical disguise. She makes him look like an old man, and only his son could see that he's an old man. And that's how he infiltrates his house, and he sees what's going on. And she's, when he's talking to Athena, she says, I see that you're not actually afraid of fighting the men and losing your life, are you? You're afraid to know if your wife has been true to you or not. And he starts crying, and she says, I cannot tell you this answer myself, Odysseus, but you have to go and find that out for yourself. And that's when she gives him the disguise to be the old man, and infiltrate the house where these assholes have been taking refuge and everything. And the son accepts a challenge by one of the jerks, and Eric Roberts conspires with the man that is going to have this fight with Odysseus' son. And he says, we will not kill Odysseus' son right away. We must make him try to kill you, and then you kill him. That is when we'll be in the right. And they don't know that Odysseus is right underneath their noses, the old man, the whole time. He's right there watching them. And let me see if this is the scene. Okay, so here's the scene where Odysseus' son is fighting like this beast, this asshole. Right? He's all bloodied up. He's getting his ass kicked. And Eric Roberts is like, you can't take this insult, Odysseus' son. I'm only saying it because I forgot Odysseus' son's name. He says, you can't take this humiliation. Here. And he hands him a knife. He says, kill this brute. You know, Eric Roberts is like fucking devious little asshole. And then this guy is like, oh, you got a knife? Well, then this guy gives him a knife. He says, come on, come at me, you little boy, come at me. What are you going to do? You know? And then Odysseus, as the old man from far away, he screams, "No! Do not! Do not!" Like he's telling the son basically, don't. They don't know it's Odysseus, though. So the son puts the knife down, and he doesn't fall for the trick. He doesn't fall for the trick, and there's Odysseus telling him, "Son, you finally conquered your anger. Your mother will be proud of you," whatever he's saying to him. And the mother, Penelope, comes to visit Odysseus in his old man disguise. The maid sees him first, though. She's the maid of Penelope, the good maid. There's a nice old maid that raised his son, not the maid that's having sex with Eric Roberts and acting like a spy. The loyal maid sees Odysseus as the old man, and she only recognizes him because when she's cleaning his feet, she sees these 2 scars on his leg, and she says, "I've seen these scars on only one man before." And she realizes, like, Odysseus, and he's like, "Shush, don't say anything, shush, shush, shush." And she doesn't say anything. So then Penelope comes into the picture, and she's, "I just want to thank you for saving my son, for talking him out of doing something very foolish." And they're talking to each other, and she's saying how and he's basically asking her questions like to see if she's been faithful or not. And she's telling him how, "I have to choose a king, but oh, I'm so sorry to. I don't want to. I don't want any of this." And he sees that she's been true to him this whole time. And he finally says to her like this really cool like line like, "Odysseus will come to defend you. You will see. He I've seen Odysseus. I've talked to him. He misses you with all of his heart. He misses holding you in his eyes." All these things that he's saying to her to make her feel good. And she gives him like this great beaming smile, and she's so grateful for the words. And she says, "Old man, if only that was true." Like she thinks it's just an old man trying to console her. So then this is one of the coolest, most iconic scenes I've ever seen in anything, in like a miniseries, right? So the wife makes a challenge for the men who want to marry her, that you must, wire the Odysseus's arrow, and then you must shoot the arrow through like 5 little holes, axe handle holes. And they're like, "This is impossible. No one can do this." They're like, "No, Odysseus did this. So any of you who can do this challenge, you will marry Penelope." So let me just see if I can get a better shot here. See, like, here's the handles that they laid out, 5 handles, and the challenge is you have to shoot the arrows through those little holes. But the first challenge is you have to even get the string attached to the end of the other side of the archer, the arrow, right? None of the men were able to do it. None of the men were able to even do the first challenge. And then they close up all the doors where all the men are. And the men don't know that it's a trap. They just think it's a challenge, right? See, like I'm sorry, I skipped too far. But anyway, like none of them are able to do it. None of them are able to figure out even how to get the string on it. So Odysseus, as the old man, gets up, and he's like showing these guys like, "Oh, I'm just doing it." Let me see if I can get the shot of the old man doing it. Yeah, all right. So here's Odysseus, and he's like just like putting it on his foot, getting a little string, and he's doing it like nothing, bends it a little bit. He gets it, and they're all looking at him like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And then old man Odysseus. Let me see if I can get the shot of him. There it is. There's old man Odysseus. He's getting ready to do the shot through the 4 holes of the weapons, and he does it. Obviously, they're like, "What the fuck?" And then the next shot shows, it's Armand Asante. It's Odysseus, young Odysseus, and it's such an awesome scene, and it was the most satisfying. Like, it's so cathartic what happens, right? He's sitting at his throne, and one of the men try to kill him, and Telemachus, or one of the guys, like throw a spear at him, and he says, "This is the time to lose your anger, son." And this whole like violence breaks out. And Eric Roberts, he says to Odysseus, like, "Wait, sir, what crime have we committed? Sure, we have taken all of the resources of your home and eaten everything, but that could be replaced. But we have killed no man. What crimes have we committed?" And Armand like gives us like this fucking awesome speech, and he's like, "What crime have you committed? You have tried to destroy my world that I have built with my sweat and blood. You have tried to take everything away from me. My son, my wife who bore my son. Like, it was so awesome, dude. And like all the guys in the room who were locked in with Odysseus and his son, they knew like, oh shit, we fucked up. We fucked up. You know what I mean? It was like such a great moment. Let me refresh this because it's giving me a hard time. Let me refresh that. Get to the scene a little bit here. So like they're murdering these dudes. Eric Roberts is putting up a really good fight though. Like they put an arrow in the fat guy's neck. They throw spears at dudes, make them fly in the wall. Their bodies get stuck against the wall with the spear. It's so satisfying and cathartic, and as cartoony and as goofy as the violence may sound, I don't care, dude. It was satisfying as fuck. It was satisfying as fuck. Like, here's one guy like banging the door, like, let me out, and then someone throws a spear at him and through his back. It was so awesome. And the way they kill Eric Roberts was really cool. Let me get that scene if I could get it. Okay, so Eric Roberts is running away, and the maid that he was having sex with, and she was like a traitor, like being a spy for him. She ran out with like from the woman that they were told to hide out, and they're like running towards the same spot. Like he's trying to get out of the door. Hold on, let me get to it. Armand is like, look at Armand, dude. He's like, the fuck you think you're going, motherfucker? You know, and he like aims at him. There's Eric Roberts like, I gotta get out of here. My sister's Julia Roberts. Don't kill me. And he shoots the arrow and ba-boom. It kills him and the maid that he was fucking and being a traitorous asshole with. Fucking poetic. I don't care if you tell me it's cartoony, if it's goofy. It works, man. It worked for me. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So it's basically a happy ending. Armand reveals himself finally to his wife, and finally his wife, Penelope and Odysseus, are united. And she's like, I've changed, huh? I'm so old now. He's like, you haven't changed at all. He says, you know, and they're like laughing with each other. Like, it's so good, dude. So good. I just don't see the same kind of heart with Christopher Nolan, but I'll watch it eventually. You know, I don't want to talk shit right away about Christopher Nolan stuff. You never know. I might love the Odyssey with that, but I'm not up for it right now, you know? But hey, guys, I know this is a really long video, but I think with what's going on with the Odyssey right now, it was a fun idea to do this. And first of all, I did really enjoy this movie, so I wanted to share it with you. So for those of you who heard of this, or don't feel like watching it, at the very least you could get a synopsis from me. And I basically went over like all the important details, you know. And if you liked what you heard, I really just suggest like watch this movie, because it's just, I think it should be considered a classic. I like the 90s feel. I like the retro CG graphics that happen with, and the monster stuff, the very King Kong-like monster stuff that happens. Like, this really felt like an adventure. I had a great time with this movie last night. And again, I haven't said it enough, the music was fantastic. There was something about 90s movies that had like this nice, ethereal, kind of beautiful, subtleness to it, you know? And it had this soul that I don't think any other decade doesn't have. It's very unique, some of the 90s movies. Not all, but the 90s movies that reach that certain peak of music, you can't find in any other decade. I don't know how else to explain it. But yeah, guys, let me know. Did you enjoy this? Do you like the Odyssey with Armand Assante? And you know what? Also, tell me anything about just the Odyssey, Homer, history, Greece, Troy. Let's talk it up, guys. Let's have a good time. Let's go off topic of comics a little bit on this video, and have a good time. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Comment as you see fit. Have a good rest of your night, guys.